I got caught up on somebody I really like. I haven't listened to him for a while, Liam Scheff. Liam Scheff, a fabulous individual. I think he's a very solid, caring personality on YouTube. He's presenting very clear-headed positions. He's understanding. He talks about sexual behavior. He talks about relationships. He talks about the big institutions, the little institutions, the me's, the you's. He's got an insight I like. But I'm going to just listen to his oil, what was it called? Liam Scheff did the oil alarm number 5. And he goes on about the fact that we're in perilous times. Now, he comes a bit late, obviously. I mean, people have always had this notion about the world ending or doomsday and trouble, and there have always been notions, a realization among sensitive people as well, that we're warning us not to go in the direction that we're going in. The path is wrong. And sometimes it's done allegorically or metaphorically, or you have these stories about a person called Jesus, or you have artists like Masaccio Ciambui or Giotto saying, no, I'm not interested in this perspective, the view of the world as a kind of disappearing point in the distance. I'm not interested in representing the spirit. The spirit in my work is not of interest to me. I listened to my dissertation that the Renaissance brought us the age of fission. And I think this is a kind of, I just wanted to say, like, I'm not gonna go off on people and criticize, but I'm gonna at times piggyback on somebody like Liam Scheff. I really like this person. And he's talking about the fact that of all the species that have been on this planet, 99% have disappeared. Now, this is likely true, that a large portion of the species that have been on this planet over 1 billion, 5 billion years, however long, who the hell knows what happened 3 billion years ago. But anyway, let's just say that it's true. Now, the one thing that most people that begin to understand the severity of Fukushima, what I've been talking about since March the 11th, 12th, I did my first video on March 19th. But I understood, I had an intuitive sense of what it is we're facing. I've been living with this intuition, this understanding. And not out of a sense of, oh, the world is going to end, it's doom, it's Y2K, it's Y5K, whatever you want to call it, or the religious end of timers that are waiting, that drink the Kool-Aid and everybody in Jonestown drops dead. I'm not talking about that. The intuition has nothing to do with that. It has to do that something fundamentally changed. And I've come late to this in terms of understanding what I call the age of fission. The age of fission began in 1938, people, in 1938. And there's somebody that came and said to me, oh no, it was 1940, it was Fermi in Chicago discovered plutonium. No, two German, or a Swiss and a German scientist in 1938 discovered, invented plutonium, an isotope, an atom that did not exist on the periodic table, plutonium-94. Anyway, that's a whole other dissertation. The age of fission began in 1938. And what I want to say, and what I want to say to a person like Liam Scheff, who is a person of conscience, you can feel his conscience coming out of him as he speaks. Now, he's speaking very matter-of-factly. And of course, people don't generally like to hear, the world is ending, the world is ending, run for the hills, run for the wherever you're running, your spiritual hills, wherever that might be. Well, here's my point about how things could actually change. What I understand would actually cause a change. And it has nothing to do with everybody changing. It has to do with each one of us changing. And here's a small criticism I have of Liam Scheff. That when you're so understanding intellectually and even emotionally how severe this destruction now has become with 3/11/11 Fukushima. This was the nail in the coffin of anyone with any sensitivity that would understand this. Now, people come to this slowly, like Liam, coming to this slowly. It's not intuitive, it's intellectual, and it stays intellectual. And what has to happen, this is the solution. I know this is the solution. That in order to internalize this part that is still intellectual, the way he regurgitates the facts about who we are. It's not going to make any difference to anybody to hear Liam Scheff tell us what the facts are. I've told you. It's not about the information. The information, we know everything there is to know. Believe it or not. I am convinced through Rupert Sheldrake's morphogenic waves. We have an understanding with the whales, with the dolphins, with the crabs, with the plants, with your cat, your dog. We understand. It's just like letting that rise to the surface is not a matter of intellect. It's a matter of creating the internalization of this information. It shifts from an intellectual point of view to a heartfelt point of view, which is why I go on about conscience, to do the right thing. And I gave an example of doing the right thing being somebody that is supposedly torturing the world for the better good, and then you actually do it to the daughter, which was an extreme circumstance. You have to listen to that. I can give you a simple version of this as well, that you're standing in a food line at your local food store, wherever that is. Here it's the IGA, the IGA, or whatever you have, and the mother or the father or whoever is in front of you has a young child of 5 or 6 who's fidgeting and just experiencing life for the first time in whatever manner, because that's what happens between 0 and 8 or 9 or 10. Everything happens basically for the first time, most of the time, all the time. So you're fidgeting, you're excited, you're everything, and then they get whacked. The mother whacks the kid to say, "Stop fidgeting, I don't want you to fidget." Just totally irrational, not understanding what this young being is going through, and you stand behind the mother and you say nothing. You let the mother whack the kid because, oh yeah, we have to control our children and make sure they don't fidget in the line. So this is conscience. This is conscience. And I'm not talking about the person whacking the kid. I'm talking about me standing behind and watching this and saying nothing. That's conscience. So it's the same way with Fukushima. We're watching, we're standing by with our intellect, like Liam Scheff, standing by with our intellects and completely like, wow, overwhelmed. The guy's overwhelmed. I mean, you can hear that sort of soft presentation. And I feel for this person. I understand. And what I'm trying to say in my YouTubes is that it's not going to take the intellect to let us know how we're going to manipulate something else to fix it, because it's not going to happen from the people. The mind that created this problem isn't going to solve this. The mind that will solve this problem is going to be rooted in something that I call conscience, to do the right thing. And to do the right thing isn't a matter of fixing Fukushima tomorrow. It has to do with doing the right thing for each single one of us every day. And the results will be just phenomenal. It'll be phenomenal. Trust me, people. This is how I have understood through my own breakthrough in my work, how we let things rise to the surface, not through our head, but through some other means. I can't explain it. It's a mystery. And being whacked over the head with the information and the knowledge isn't going to do it. It has to do with each one of us choosing the morning we get up to do the right thing, all the way through the day, from the kind of food we eat to the way we relate to in our relationships to our partners, children, neighbors, everything around us basically disseminates from us every day. And the more we do the wrong thing, the worse shit gets out there, which is what's happened, because people have given up their ability to act their conscience, or not ability, their decision not to act their conscience has put us into this incredible shitter. And it has nothing to do with 99 species having disappeared before. It doesn't matter. We're right here, right now. In Fukushima, the information is there. You got to get it down into your system and start doing the right thing. And it has nothing to do with showing up at Fukushima and cleaning it up, because you and I can't do it. There has to be an intellect developed around this. But to start doing the changing is not telling, or, you know, people come late, like Liam is 4 years late. It's like beginning to let this really, really sink in. What he's saying, to let it sink in, and not up here, down here, where he needs to feel it, so that he will begin to do the right thing, specifically around what we're facing. We're in the age of fission. We're in the age of fission, and what a monumental task. It's almost like an experiment gone amok. This human experiment has gone amok. We have dropped the ball, and the experiment is not to design incredible machines that get us to do amazing stuff. Yeah, fine, okay. No, the experiment has been, we have failed in this experiment called conscience to do the right thing when we're here. And, you know, whichever way you want to attach yourself to that, maybe you feel yourself to be more loving. That's a beautiful way of actually initiating this conscience, to feel the love, the appreciation. But I don't even want to go there. I've said this. It's on a very principled basis of caring for everything that's around us, and let it just sort of disseminate out of us. It's like, let it come out of us, that feeling of caring for everything and everyone. And we're going to fix this. We can fix this, but not with the mind the way he thinks he's talking about oil. It doesn't work. Hope that helps a bit more. I'm going to keep harping on this because it's so clear to me. It's like whenever I hear people intellectualize this and regurgitate this stuff that everybody already knows, we need to find a delivery system. That's why I say the free radicals will deliver post-ignorance. I've understood this. Through the art. Anything else?